Raise your hands if you are getting scared when you are given the chance to speak in public. Raise your hands. Only few. That means I can ask questions from the rest of the audience. Wonderful. Right. So, whenever we are given the chance to speak in public, we get that fear. So, it's called a phobia. If you check the top 10 phobias, the public speaking or the stage fear is kind of there in the top, number one spot. So, why this phobia? Why the fear? It's all because of the fear of failure. Because you are scared that when you go up there and when you talk, you will fail. Because of that, the energy kicks in, you get scared, and you don't want to talk. Simple like that. So if we go and check the fear process, so whenever you know that you are about to speak, inside your mind, it will kick in. It will start processing and it will create the adrenaline and it will send to your body and especially to your stomach where butterflies will start going all over in your stomach because of this adrenaline. And when you get that feeling, you feel like you are in the edge, you feel like okay, since some of you raised your hands, what do you feel when you get the chance to speak in public? Right, you're scared, yeah. And you feel sweating, your stomach is hurting, shivering, and whatnot. Everything happens. It all happens because of this fear process. Because of the adrenaline, what you get at that point, you feel scared. It goes to your stomach. The butterflies go over, and because of that, you get this all thing. So it's all about psychological and emotional experience when you get the chance to speak. So now this is all the fear process. So how can we avoid this fear process? Now, there is no simple step or answer. So there are simple things what you can do. If you know that you're about to speak, before that, go to a mindful state. Now, that means you just don't think about your presentation or the keynote or the presentation, what you're going to do. You just focus, close your eyes, just focus towards the end goal, what you want to achieve after the presentation. So if you feel happy and if you feel confidence and if you go to that mindful state, that fear will at least little bit go down. And the next one is relax. Listen to some music that break that tensed what you have. Because every time when you get that adrenaline, you need to put it out and you need to break free of that. And another simple way is you can just talk to yourself and you do a small pep talk to yourself to motivate yourself, because then you feel good before the presentation. Now there's another one last risky one. You can go there and you can crack a joke. Now with that, if the audience respond in a proper way, you will feel that good to yourself, then you feel relaxed, then you can continue without the fear. So these are few simple steps what you can do to cut down your fear. Now there is no one mechanism or way where you can just reduce the fear. So if you continue to do these simple things, this fear will go down. And the key thing is, if you want to reduce this fear, what you really want to do is you need to face your fear. You need to do more speeches, keynotes, presentations, and you need to do it over and over again. Then you know that a way where you can actually control the butterflies in your stomach. So that is the simple mechanism of controlling the fear what we get when we are given the chance to speak in public. Now, this is all about fear. So now I know most of you also are in that fear. Will the presenter will ask a question right now? Will he says to do something? Yes, I'm going to say something right now. So we are going to do a small activity, right? So everyone is going to do, no exceptions, because this is not a session where I talk and you just listen. Those are boring. So I'm going to do a small activity. So the activity is this. This is called Simon Says. So if I say something like Simon says stand up, you stand up. And if I say Nisal says stand up, you don't stand up. You don't react to what Nisal says. You react to what Simon says. And the other key thing is if I say and for some reason in the sentence, you don't react. Right? Simple, clear. So shall we stand and try this out? Everyone, let's stand, stand, stand. Simon says stand up. Right. Simon says put your hands up. Simon says put your hands up and sit down. Right, all the people who sit down, you guys are out because I said and rest of you guys can put your hands down like this. Simon says put your hands down. Right. Next one, Simon says talk with your friend. Simon says jump up and talk with your friend. Simon says say hi to the person who is next to you. Simon says raise your hand and sit down. Wonderful. So let's give a big round of applause for the people who are standing right here. So when you are delivering a presentation, now this is the exact thing what will happen. You will say something, from that only 75% of the audience which will actually get what you're trying to say, because that's the percentage where they will listen. Others will not listen because I said and in a quick way, they reacted with that as well. So this is what we did. Simon says these things, those are the rules. So sometimes people tend to do what the presenter is doing. Now in this case, you guys were so good, you guys did not do what I was doing because I was raising my hand like this. So that's a note as well. So now let's put this into a public speaking presentation and let's see how we can improve this. Now clearly there is a communication barrier where the presenter is saying something but only audience will get 75% of it. So let me share some tips how you can improve. So before I share, there are 3 key elements in this. So the first one is know your audience, the second one is know your topic, and the third one is know your time constraints. So how many of you have seen that when you go to a presentation, so there's a podium, so you have the keynote speaker. Okay, I think others also can see. The keynote speaker come to the stage, he comes here, he stand right in the podium and start doing the presentation. Raise of hands, how many of you have experienced that situation in your life? No one has experienced? All the speakers? Oh, wonderful, some hands are going up. Right, so what happens is some speakers just hide behind the podium and talk. Now some speakers, what they do is, they go there, they put their hand like this because they feel comfortable. How many of you have seen speakers like this? Put their hands in the pockets and talk, right? So we all have seen this, right? So know your audience. And most importantly, be mindful of your body language. Now, if you just go behind a podium or put your hand in the pocket, or if you do this, like this, let me demonstrate to this side as well. You do this, you put your hand in the pocket, go near the podium and stuck into that podium and talk. That means in your body language, you are telling the audience that you're scared. So if you are planning to do a presentation, be mindful to use your hands freely. The better way to use is the open palm gesture, so which means always try to explain with both the hands. Don't close like this, open palm gestures, because it says when the audience sees more of your open palms, they feel more connected. So this stat which is out there. So that is one key thing which you can do for the audience. So the next thing is the eye contact. Sometimes you go to a presentation, the speaker is looking down. It's like that the script is right there in the flow. He always looks down and talk. No, if you want to engage with the audience, you need to have a proper eye contact with the audience. So a small tip how you can do that is, this is my audience, I break them into 2, and I always look at the front row and the back row. So when I do that during my presentations, the audience will feel like that I have the eye contact with all of you. Do you guys feel that I am trying to have that eye contact right now? Yes, I see that it's going on and on. The other one is the personal space. As a speaker, you have the authority to tell whatever you want, but always have that personal space. Don't go close to that another person and ask, because when you go very close, people get scared. So have that personal space as well. And another important one is be careful when you're using metaphors and abbreviations. Now, when I say MVP, tell what comes to your mind. Minimal viable product. Yeah. What comes to your mind? Same thing. Anything else which comes to anyone's mind? No. Most valuable player, right? So in my presentation, I have the word MVP, but you will think in several ways. It can be most viable product, most valuable player, or you can take this MVP and go all over. So when you are putting an abbreviation or a metaphor, always be careful, because the audience will not get it. And what will happen is, always audience like to sit in groups. So when they see something like that, MVP, they will tap and say, "Macam, what's MVP means? Is it most valuable player, or I don't get it?" Then they will have their own conversation while the presentation is going on. So don't break that pattern from the audience. So don't get into that way as well. And the next thing is, avoid you using slang and jargon. Now, few minutes ago, I used machang. So don't use machang in your presentations. It's not a good word to use. And words like lit and whatnot, don't use this jargon, because that's not nice for presentations. And don't speak too fast. This is a common issue which is there with most of the speakers. They speak so fast. So average speaking speed is 145 to 160 words per minute, which is the normal rate. If you are a person who go beyond, be mindful and talk slowly, right? So those are the things which is related to audience, especially when it comes to a presentation or a keynote. Second one is know your topic. Simple things. As a speaker, when you have that presentation, you have 30 seconds to grab the attention of the audience. Yes, I said correctly, 30 seconds. So you do a mistake, you will lose that wow factor from your presentation. So always try to open with a great way. So what I did today was, I came up here and I asked, raise your hands if you feel scared when you are given the chance. So I asked a question, you respond with the raising your hands. So I didn't ask a way like whether you have to yes or a no. It's not like that. I said raise your hands, because you feel comfortable to raise your hands than responding. So that is an easy way to get the response from the audience. So I used that technique today for my first 30 seconds to have that connection with the audience and me as the presenter. So I asked a question. So next key point is, you have the presentation, you have your full content, but make sure that you have a good opening. With the opening, go to your body where you have the more content. If you're giving a technical presentation, break that properly, have the key points in the body section, and in the end, conclude with a proper summary. Because what audience will always remember is the latter part, the conclusion. They will take that home, they remember that conclusion. So you can give a wonderful presentation for 1 hour, but in the end, that conclusion is the key, where they will remember what you're trying to say in that presentation with that conclusion. So make sure you use the conclusion in a proper way. So the next one is know your time constraints. Always try to talk to the given time period, because if it's 30 minutes and if you go 35, 40, the audience feel lethargic. They are just waiting there to just go, just until the speaker finish. So don't get into that situation where they badly want to go. A good technique what you can use for your presentation is, get a friend, tell him to go to the back of the audience and give signals when the time is coming to an end. For example, you can say, if you have cards, green, yellow, red, 20 to 25, 30. So when you see that card, you know you have 5 minutes more, 10 minutes more. Likewise, you can divide your time and speak. Or else what happens is you are allocated for a 30-minute keynote or a presentation, but you go for 45 minutes because you don't know when you're talking what the time is, right? You can't keep track. So you need to always reach out for help. Now, those are the few key things which you can improve your presentation. So today we spoke about the fear and how to improve the presentation skills, what you have. So far, any questions from the audience? Raise of hands if you have any questions. No? All clear, all perfect clear. So how many of you think that we can continuously improve our speaking skills? Raise of hands if you think you can continuously improve. Only 2 people. Okay, when I say only 2 people, more hands goes up. I'm not sure whether you guys are getting scared when I say that or not. Right. So yes, continuous improvement is applicable for public speaking as well. So the only key thing what you need to do is you need to find a forum to practice, because you can learn, you can study, you can watch things and learn, but if you don't practically do what you are learning, it will not have a major impact to you. How many of you know this person? Okay, most of you know this is Sri Lankan. So 80% of the path to becoming a great speaker is trial and error. And the only way to learn is by speaking in front of an audience that will give you honest feedback. Honest feedback. Do you all think that there are places people give honest feedback for your presentations or keynotes? Any answers? Raise of hands if you say yes, there are places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Raise of hands if you are saying no to this question. Only 2. Okay, so I'm assuming the rest are in a confusion, maybe yes, no, it's kind of a maybe thing. So yes, there are places where people give honest feedback. You will be surprised. Toastmasters clubs are the place where you can actually get all these improvement, honest feedback. So if I give a small detail about what a Toastmasters club is, so you go there, try out speeches, impromptu speeches, and improve yourself. It's all about friends helping friends. Don't get scared. You can go there and fail. No one is there to judge. And Toastmasters have been a program for 90 years. So it's like a proven thing. So if you really want to improve as a speaker, join Toastmasters. And for you all, luckily, we have one in our company as well. So with that, do you have any questions? I can take 1 or 2 questions if you have. Wonderful. So I think there are no questions. So with that, I can conclude. So thank you all. So looking forward to see some of you maybe in our next Toastmasters meeting, maybe in a keynote or a presentations. I hope all these points will help you to be a better public speaker in the future. So thank you and see you all soon.